fans hoping to inspire their team with the usual club anthems, Stand By Me. Adelaide have the wood on victory at the moment in this fixture. They've won the last 4 meetings straight, although, strangely enough, all of those wins have been in South Australia. This place holds less happy memories, not just those 2 grand final losses, but a record of just 2 wins in 17 visits. Well, let's take a check on the teams. Just the one change from the Melbourne Victory 11 that started against the Jets last week. That is the return of Lee Broxham, who's back for the first time since the end of January. He replaces Jakob Poulsen in midfield, who drops out of the squad altogether. Marco Rojas makes his 100th A-League appearance and just his 2nd start in his 3rd spell with Victory. And Storm Roux is back after injury on the bench. Just the one change for the Reds as well. James Troisi is back after that troublesome quad problem to face his former club. He replaces Ben Halloran, who's out with a hamstring injury. Riley McGree is looking for his 10th goal of the campaign. It'll be the first time he'd hit double figures in a single season. If he does, he scored twice in the Reds' 3-1 win over Victory and Coopers back in November. Well, Toivonen's in great form at the moment. Some return after injury. 5 goals in his last 5 A-League matches. You can add another couple in the Champions League to that total as well. And he has scored in his last 2 games at this particular stadium. Talking of this stadium, George Blackwood's first Reds goal came against Victory here in December 2017. That gave Adelaide just their 2nd ever win at Marvel Stadium and a first in 10 years. He's got 4 goals so far this season. Pitch looks good, although there was an AFL game played here last night, and of course the W League game prior to this one as well, won by Victory by 3-1 against Sydney FC. Adelaide have got plenty of supporters here, as they normally do for this fixture. They are, of course, in the minority. It's a glorious evening in Melbourne. Sunny night, blue skies, perfect conditions for football. Pretty mild temperatures as well. As we get ready for kickoff for what will be Melbourne Victory's 400th A-League game. So it's Elvis Kamsoba who gets the ball rolling back towards James Donachie. The 52nd meeting of these 2 traditional rivals, Robbie Slater, and it is all on the line really for Victory tonight.
Well, literally, I mean, every week passes by and you think, you know, you're waiting for their push to the 6, but looking at the table, given what's happened, Western Sydney Wanderers, even Newcastle winning, even if they get on a bit of a roll, it's going to be a tough ask to make the 6 from here. But like you said, they don't need draws, they need wins, and they need to start here this evening.
That win by the Jets earlier on today over Perth Glory means that Victory starts tonight in 10th spot with only the Mariners beneath them. Really does underline the seriousness of the situation. One of the tactical questions looks to have been answered here. Tim Hoogland lining up as a right fullback. Paula Toivonen joking in our pre-game interview, that's surely a foul by Kamsoba, that's confirmed. But maybe he'll get a cross or 2 in from the German on the right today. But interesting the way that Carlos Salvatierra's mixed things up a bit. And I don't know if you agree, Robbie, the reintroduction of Lee Broxham into midfield could be key, because they need to win that area of the park.
Yeah, that's right, and they've missed him. And look, it's a little bit, and what a fantastic career he's had, but you know, they've missed a player like Lee Broxham, who's been around forever and maybe shows a little bit of, you know, in some way their problems. That midfield area has been a problem all season. And the loss of the guy who's come in, a big boost for Adelaide this evening, James Troisi, for me was never replaced. Dobros was supposed to be, and he's of course gone now. But they've got what they've got. They've got Rojas out there trying to play as the playmaker. I don't think he's a playmaker, but he's certainly got a lot of qualities.
Now a mistake by Izzo. And Victory could have been in there, but total miscommunication between Andrew Naboot and Ulla Toivonen, and the chance goes begging. Those are the sorts of opportunities really they need to seize upon, but perhaps that little bit of confusion rather underlines where they're at the moment. Melbourne victory. Well, yeah, you're right on Broxham, and part of his and Midget Basher's job tonight will surely be to try and keep tabs on those two creative players for the Reds, Troisi and McGree. Just on Adelaide, Robbie, George Blackwood playing in a wider right role today with Ben Halloran absent. He's been in great form in recent weeks. They will miss him this evening.
Certainly, and George Blackwood, has done well at times. He's played right across that front line. He's even played as a number 10 as well. But you'd say that he would look to drop in the pocket. He's not naturally a wide player. He's got plenty of pace. You'd see him drifting inside, maybe open it up for the fullbacks. Or for the fullback on his side, of course.
Fascinating battle ahead. Basher trying to stretch for it. Second time around, he got a piece of the ball. And also, rather too much of Nikola Miluznic. Verbeek said his team defended like clowns last week in Western Sydney. Said it was a performance that reminded him of his days as a kid watching Laurel and Hardy. Let's see if they get themselves in another fine mess this evening. All the viewers will get that one. Here's Miluznic. There's a bit of space here for Blackwoods. Not really made best use of it. And off Hoogland. Victory struggling to get it away. And Riley McGree will return it. Looping up in the air towards Opseth. Won by Traore. And eventually hooked up towards halfway by Hoogland.
Yeah, I was speaking to Verbeek. So we did a cross with him with Archie Thompson, and speaking about last week's game, and said they put themselves in a good position. They went one down, then 2-1 up, and it all went horribly wrong, and they were blown away by Western Sydney Wanderers. Who, of course, tasted success against Simon, in the derby last night. Twice this year, same goal scorer. Incredible.
Yeah, two teams outside the top 6, defeating the top 2 already this weekend. Which does open the door for Adelaide United to join Perth Glory and Melbourne City and Wellington Phoenix, all on 30 points. A long way behind Sydney FC at the top, of course. And Perth will stay in second spot by virtue of a much superior goal difference to the rest, even if Adelaide were to win here tonight. But that is the plan for Herchin Verbeek and his team. Floated nicely into the path of Michael Maria, in front of the travelling Reds support. Sober stuck with him. Good numbers come across the border from South Australia, including Redwick Steve. There he is. Goes everywhere with him, that wig. How many washes it gets per season? Maroney. Blackwood. That's a rather unfamiliar right-sided role. Jordan Elsey to clip it across to his central defensive partner, Michael Jacobsen. And now the former victory man, James Troisi. 2 spells with the Navy Blue. 105 games, 27 goals. Telling pre-game, he's really looking forward to playing against his old club. Now Galafoco's header wasn't the best. And driving towards goal is McGree. Chance here for Opseth! He's buried it! It's a beauty! From the big Norwegian, fed by Riley McGree. And Melbourne victory so careless in defence. And they've been punished.
Well, they were so open, but didn't they punish him? And a super ball from Riley McGree. Great awareness. And the little pass and a clinical finish from Opseth. And he just drifts into space, McGree. And look at Opseth. You can't be giving a player that amount of space inside the penalty area. Squares up to Lawrence Thomas. Tidy finish. Adelaide take the lead, and the disguise pass from McGree was super.
And look what it means to the Norwegian. He's had an up-and-down campaign. It's just his second goal in Reds colours, his first since mid-November when he netted against the Mariners. But his first touch was very sure there after being played in by McGree, and the second one was clinical. Well, that really has put the cat among the pigeons so far as Melbourne victory is concerned, Robbie.
Well, the only bonus for them is it's very early, but I mean, just the way they got themselves out of whack at the back. Well, the Fuoco not concentrating on his man. Donachie was dragged right over to the right side. Traore didn't track the run. Opseth just came in from the touchline into the penalty area unopposed.
As mentioned, Adelaide have won only twice here in 17 trips. First one all the way back in 2007. Greg Owens scored the winner at that end of the ground, where Christian Opseth has just put the Reds in front. What can victory do about it? Their only other win, December 2017. Here's Cam Sober driving towards the byline. Cuts back to get rid of Maria, and Basher trying to place it, side-footed it straight into the gloves of Paul Izzo.
Yeah, didn't hit the corner. Maybe not enough power. Clever play from Cam Sober, good vision, picks him out, running onto it, side foot. Comfortable save in the end for Izzo.
You can almost hear the disbelief around the stadium from those in navy blue. This has not been the campaign that they imagined. They do, as things stand, have the worst home record in the entire competition, would you believe? They have gained fewer points on home turf, and even the Central Coast Mariners, no disrespect to the Coasties. What can they do about it? It's a good ball by Basher. Cam Sober up against Maria again. Again, he cuts inside and finds Toivonen, who just dropped off the front line for that sort of a release. Has to settle for a throw-in. A big sweep. Traore's throw. Deft touch, and Andrew Nabbout testing Paul Izzo at the near post. Almost caught him by surprise.
Certainly did. It was a good save in the end. Low down to his right-hand side, and he gets a strong palm to it.
Might have been going wide, actually, but Izzo probably felt he couldn't afford to take a chance. Good response by Victory, in fairness. That's 2 efforts on goal since Christian Opseth's opener. See what they can do with the corner. Not really enough elevation, but it'll pop out here for Rojas. Squared up by Traore. Still plenty forward for Victory. Broxham's ball. It'll flick towards Galafoco. And hooked away to safety by Michael Maria for Adelaide. For Victory, of course, when you're on a run such as they're on at the moment, 6 without success, becomes a mind game as much as anything else, doesn't it? Here's Hoogland in a very advanced position. He can have a strike on goal. Charge down by Michael Jakobsen. Here's Hoogland again, showing he's not frightened to get forward. In fact, we've seen that even when he plays in his more natural role as a central defender. He does like to venture forward and join in with the attack, and probably will get a bit more free rein to do that tonight in the right fullback role.
Certainly in that position, he'll be expected to overlap and set up a combination with Cam Sober, who's seen quite a bit of the ball in this opening period.
Charged down by Nabbout, and he tracks it down to prevent it from going out. Toivonen trying to spin away from his marker, and he hits the side netting. Something out of nothing, really, created by Andrew Nabbout, which will please Carlos Salvatore. Young channel a bit narrow for Toivonen. Archie Thompson might have put it away, though. He's sidelined for us today. Scorer of 5 goals in a grand final at this venue against the Reds back in '07. What do you made of this opening 12 minutes or so, Archie?
Yeah, thanks, Simon. Yeah, Carlos was very disappointed the way that Victory started. He wanted to get his team down playing the ball. He's obviously signalled to Elvis Kempsoba to stay out wide. I think he's going to get a lot of the ball out wide where he can take a lot of one-on-one opportunities. So that's the information. But also, too, when they don't have the ball, that the signal to Basher is to really close tight on Troisi. So obviously he's a danger man for Adelaide. And to be honest, too, the Adelaide supporters are really very vocal here, too.
Why wouldn't they be at the moment? Thanks, Archie. Did Donachie go through the back of Miljusnic? Chris Beath says yes, he did. Takes the opportunity to have a little chat with his coach as well, Herchian Babake, who's just standing behind him.
The bonus for Adelaide, though, and going on what Archie said, Salvatore asking Basher to push on Troisi, is Riley McGree is a creator as well, as we just saw with a quite brilliant pass to set up opposite for the opening goal.
That is Riley McGree's 5th assist of the campaign to go with his 9 goals. Now, Ulla Toivonen's been cautioned here, and that is for protesting that Chris Beath didn't award a free kick for what he believed was handball by Jordan Elsey in back play there. And he is cooking, fair to say, the Victory skipper. It's his 7th caution of the season. One more, and he'll have to serve a 2nd ban of the campaign. Shows he is completely wholehearted in his commitment to try and turn things around for Melbourne Victory. And to be fair, Robbie, without his goals, 10 this season, where would they be? Let's have another look at this and see if it was handball. Well, it came off his own body, and Chris Beath deemed that to be accidental and play on. So a rather needless yellow card for Ulla Toivonen, which means he's got to watch his step. Galafoko's got himself in a spot of bother again. That's clumsy from Donachie. Everything's just a little bit off for Victory at the moment. Even the bounce of the ball not going their way, Robbie.
Well, the ball just held up, and Donachie thought he had a chance, but opposite had stood his ground, and that was clever. Drew the foul.
So the grass does seem a touch long. Maybe that was the last night's Aussie rules game, not quite sure, but the ball just holds up ever so slightly. Here's Kempsoba. Basher. Kempsoba again. He was expecting Basher to have continued that run. In the Albanian, not quite on the same wavelength. That ball's gone out, though. It's going to be a Victory throw. Again, they appeal for hands. This time against Jakobsen again, they get nothing. Miljusnic. Hoogland trying to get back goal side. Now the whistle goes in favour of the Reds.
Well, a good start from Adelaide, not just the goal, but they certainly looked the side more composed.
Herchian Babake, of course, still has a pretty lengthy injury list, including Halloran tonight. Does have Troisi back, is up on the ball. Miljusnic, touch back for Dorigo. Nice little ball around the corner by Blackwood. Miljusnic gets away from Galafoko towards McGree at the near post. And they'll reset again for Miljusnic. He'll try and dry it hard and low. And then the rebound fell the way of Luis Dorigo, couldn't keep his effort down. But another promising attack by Adelaide.
Yeah, the pace of Miljusnic getting him past Galafoko. Now, bodies in the box. And they'll end up in the second phase of this attack as This one is blocked, and he takes it first time, a spinning ball, difficult to control, and just couldn't keep it down, Dorigo. But Adelaide, again, showing that they're the team that settled the better in this game.
Here's Traore, who's got away from Blackwood, still going, the fullback, trying to slip it through for the run of Rojas. The idea was right. They'll have to be careful in transition. Crispin's going to bring them back for a handball. Oh, Toivonen is still having that conversation. It's not for that handball, it's a prior one. Imagine that Toivonen is saying, well, I'm going to give it for that one here. Why not for Jordan Elsey a few minutes ago? Anyway. A little too high for Milosnic. Kamsoda. This has gone in favour of Adelaide again.
Toivonen again, he's going to have a word to him. The captain,
has to be careful here.
Be careful, and they can't afford to lose him. And he's just got to take what he thinks have been wrongs against him, and he's just got to swallow and get on with it. It's just, you know, I've seen many footballers, you know, you can waste your energy getting frustrated like this.
He knows just how important tonight is to his team's hopes of making the finals. He is hugely frustrated at the moment. Here's Basher. Couldn't get past Dorigo. He's having such a breakthrough campaign. Off the chest of Naboot. Helped further forward by Rojas. Traore's onto it. In advance of him was Naboot, but in the way, crucially, was Jordan Elsey. Not the best clearance, though. Rojas will pick it up in the deep. Toivonen looking to spin away from Jakobsen. Intervention from Maria.
And it's two passes, crucial passes that could have set something up. One from Traore, that one from Toivonen.
There's nothing wrong with the application of Melbourne victory. Just missing that extra bit of quality at the moment. Useful ball though by Hoogland. Bended away towards Traore and a boot. Looking perhaps to take on Morone. Opts for Rojas. Oh, great feet. Marco Rojas in behind. Narrow angle. Couldn't pick out a teammate, and it's Jakobsen to put it behind for a corner.
A brilliant feat from Rojas. And then Adelaide just occupied all the space very, very well. Toivonen went near, and then he tries to come back. Elsey cut off that angle, and you had Dorigo behind. So a great little run from Rojas, showing what he's capable of. They need more of it. But Adelaide, I think they defended that well.
They've got plenty of firepower. Toivonen, Rojas, Naboot is going to deliver the corner here. A better tail to that one. Came off Ryan McGree, I thought, at first instance.
Well, it did. It certainly come off an Adelaide.
Toivonen's going to blow up again.
I don't know how they missed that one.
Let's have another look.
Let's have another look on. He's pretty sure it clearly come off
to
Riley McGree. No doubt.
There's the brakes when you're down at the bottom. Sadly for Victory fans, that's pretty much where they are at the moment. Here's Traore. Naboot. Rojas. Drive towards the byline again. He's led them a merry dance once already tonight. Naboot. Hoogland. Good tail on that. Great save, Izzo. To deny Naboot, it's still alive for Rojas. Adelaide snuff out the danger, and they're grateful to their goalkeeper who denied Andrew Naboot from point-blank range.
What a cross from Hoogland. Look at this for quality. Great run from Naboot. He's onside. I thought initially he might go with a stooping, diving header, but he goes for the volley, but it's a terrific block. But really, at that distance, you'd expect Nabbout to score.
It was a very athletic effort, wasn't it, from Andrew Nabbout, and he did pretty much all he could do. And poor Lizzo was equal to it. And you're right, Robbie, what a ball from Hoogland. Maybe they should keep him at right fullback. Victory fans encouraged. Victory wanted a foul there against Rojas. Always so keenly contested, these original rivalry contests. Also when there's so much on the line. The Reds in the ascendancy thanks to Christian Opseth after 7 minutes. It's actually starting a 4th consecutive game for the very first time in Reds colours is Opseth. He's had his problems with injuries. Time for him to come good, Robbie, with finals looming. He's got the quality, we know that. Won the Norwegian Golden Boot, as we mentioned once or twice already this season.
Well, he's given himself a really good finish here, and as you said, he's got the chance to cement his place in the side. Ironic cheers, because the Victory fans don't feel they've been given a lot so far in this game in respect to free kicks.
Let's see what they can do with this one. Back through Galafoco. Donachie. Hoogland. Toivonen again dropping off the front line. Drop all the way back into his own half of the field. Good pressing by the Reds. Just wouldn't allow him to turn. There's Carlos Salvatore, interim coach of the Victory. Almost 2 months since he was appointed to the job after the departure of Marco Kurtz, and he's still waiting for that first A-League win. And 3 in the Champions League, of course. Troisi to float it. Useful. Galafoco equal to it that time, ahead of Opseth at the expense of a corner.
That was just a tester from Troisi. Testing out the heart of Melbourne defence. It was clipped in just with enough on it to not allow Lawrence Thomas to come for it, and they end up with the corner.
Michael Jakobsen has taken his position in there. There's Dorigo to deliver. Jordan Elsie's on as well. And good clearing header by Toivonen. Moroni in the deep to return. Milosnic. There's a foul. Galafoco, the guilty party again on McGree.
Crispy sort of put his hands out, saying, well, what do you want me to do? It's clearly a free kick. He has to give it.
Kick your opponent in the calf from behind. That's normally the end result. 10th foul of the game.
Good position for Dorigo.
In-swinger. Lawrence Thomas, good shout, good claim. Quick release for Nabbout. He's done an awful lot alongside him. Oh dear.
Saved.
Yep, well done, Tim Hoogland. Foreign imports. Hoogland, who's real problems with injuries. Drops here for Rojas. Broxham driving forward, and as he bundled over by McGree, this time the whistle does go in favour of Victory, and a free kick in a very useful position, particularly with Ola Toivonen around, Robbie.
Well, Lee Broxham, he gives you everything, doesn't he? And he takes it upon himself here for a burst from midfield. He just goes direct, forces the foul. And it's certainly in Toivonen territory. There's the shove in the back from Riley McGree. It's actually the perfect sort of distance to get it up and over. And more importantly, bring that ball down.
He's had to bear a heavy weight of responsibility in terms of goals this year. Is he about to deliver once again? We know his capabilities. Paul Izzo will know it too. The wall is set. And it is Ola Toivonen straight into the wall. Out it comes, and Donachie. Oh, be interesting to see the replay and see how close that was. They thought it was pretty close. Paul Izzo stood like a statue.
He did, and he's watching it. And he gets a little bit of the outside, and it bends away, and it doesn't go straight. And for those of you who've watched the game before, Nikolai Topor-Stanley hit an absolute screamer for Newcastle. And that's what Donachie needed. He needed it to go like Topor-Stanley's straight.
Hasn't scored an A-League goal in over 3 years, James Donachie. Not really his go, of course. Big try by Troisi, and unfairly over the top of Mitcham Basher. Chris Beath not happy with where the ball was positioned. Wanted forward by Broxham, but Jakobsen always had its measure. He was collected a little bit late there by Hoogland. And Troisi's down as well. Just readjusting the left boot. Checking that the ankle's still in place. Donachie underneath that one. Steadied down by Basher. Pretty aimless release, though, from the Albanian. Half an hour played at Marble Stadium, and so far Adelaide looking set to complete a seasonal clean sweep over Melbourne Victory. Haven't done that since all the way back in the very first season of the A-League, 2005-06. Here's Kamsoba, though, as Victory look to get back square. Drives it across the face, chance for Broxham, and he can't take it.
His first touch is a little bit heavy, and then he's stretching for it. That's a really good chance.
Well, they are creating chances now, Archie Thompson.
Yeah, definitely. I think Melbourne Victory are the better side over that last period. Since conceding the goal, they look more potent going forward. I'd love to see actually the ball a bit more over in the boot side, because Maroney hasn't played too much football. I think he only made his starting comeback against Western Sydney last week, so he'd be a little bit tired. I'd be looking to go down that avenue. But with Kamsoba too, I mean, he's looking very dangerous out wide over this side as well.
Just needs a goal, doesn't he, Elvis Kamsoba? Still waiting. 34th A-League game today. Scored goals for fun, of course, in National Premier Leagues, but it's found the going a lot tougher at senior level. Here's Naboots with room to spin. Blackpool giving chase. Traore ignored in favour of Basher here. Hoogland pushes forwards, gets rid of Miliusnic. Now Kamsoba away from Maria this time. What about the cross? It's towards Toivonen. Didn't really get the contact he wanted. Still alive for Hoogland. Oh dear, that did not go where he wanted it to go, but Traore will make it into something approaching a good pass. Adelaide had it back through. Riley McGree and Blackwood trying to drive through midfield. Troisi, and they could be in behind here. Thomas has come a long way. Oh, has he brought his man down? He has. He's going to be in trouble here, Lawrence Thomas. It's just a yellow because there were defenders back alongside, so well, probably couldn't be considered the last man. He's probably a lucky boy, though.
Yeah, he is, and you saw when he's coming, I'm thinking, why is he coming? There was no need for him to come, and that's what saves him. As you just mentioned, a couple of defenders behind, clear foul, and just the wrong decision to come.
He's fortunate.
He's relieved.
Could yet be punished, though. Meantime, there is a Victory player down in the Adelaide half of the field. Need some attention. There's Dharma Traore, hence the slight delay. Maybe a hamstring problem, Robbie.
Well, he's touching his hamstring. I don't think he'll be on for much longer, unless it's a bit of cramp.
The problems just continue to mount for Carlos Salvatierra.
Hopefully it's a bit of cramp, bit of tightness, but if he's had a twinge, that ain't going to get better.
So Victory will continue with 10 just for the moment. Traore is actually back and up on his feet, wanted to come back on.
I think Traore did that as he was crossing the ball.
Maybe just felt a twinge. He's still feeling it. Left leg, meantime, he's off. Troisi's ball in, and easily gathered by Lawrence Thomas. Troisi, rather Traore wants to give it another go, trying to attract Chris Street's attention, which he has done now. The problem with those injuries, Robbie, we've said it many times before, if you aggravate it, you can be out for some time. It's a foul by Troisi.
He just keeps stretching it and stretching. I think he's done.
Storm Roux on the bench, of course, but he's more naturally right-sided than left, and only just coming back from injury himself. Here is Traore, looking across with that injured leg. It'll find its way through, somewhat fortuitously, towards Kamsoba, who finds a little gap here for Basha, who tests Izzo at the near post, but is equal to it.
Well, Traore, he's come back from that cross and he's not touched it again, so maybe it is something he's going to be able to come on with. Basha came in late, took it first time straight at Izzo. Another little half chance for them, still stretching it.
Well, Victory now up into double figures in terms of shots. They've certainly provided a very good response since falling behind. A mixture of solid defending, good goalkeeping has kept Adelaide's lead intact, maybe not for long. Here's Rojas! Izzo again. Excellent stop by Paul Izzo to deny the Kiwi.
Yeah, and lacked the power. But he bursts through, straight through it, and when he hits that ball, he's middle of the goal. And really, you'd think he'd be favoured to score from that position, but Izzo again with another save.
Here's Maria, the other end. Trying to jink his way past Kamsoba. He's done so. The cutback is on. And the shot almost squeezed through from Riley McGree. In the end, an offside flag will relieve that particular piece of pressure on Victory. But Michael Maria somehow skipped away from Elvis Kamsoba and created that opportunity for McGree at the near post. The ricochets really could have gone anywhere. to operate in a very tight space near touchline. Kamsoba doing likewise, shrugs off Troisi. It's a good play by Kamsoba. Toivonen. Rojas. Just not used to seeing Rojas playing this sort of position. It seems rather odd, doesn't it? We're so more accustomed to seeing him operate out on the flank.
Yeah, and sometimes you see him pick up the ball like then, and he sort of goes one way, comes back the other, like not sure which way he should be going. But he certainly had a good chance earlier. He burst through the middle, and he'll think he should have scored.
Racking up the ton in the A-League today. 3 spells with Melbourne victory, and of course at the outset of his A-League career with Wellington Phoenix back in his homeland of New Zealand. Square by Dorigo. Morone. Blackwood.
Haven't seen much of George Blackwood. The ball hasn't really gone to him. Favourable circumstance. He's done a lot of work defensively.
Which, to be fair, he's had to do because Victory have created so many opportunities. McGree's going to be offside here. What will please Hercham Babak, particularly on the back of what happened at Bankwest Stadium last week, Robbie, is the fact that his defence has been so solid. Clearly offside against McGree. They've worked on that all week, and so far at least it's paying dividends.
Well, for me it's been a mixture of both. Yes, they have been better, there's no doubt, but you would have to put down some poor finishing from Victory as well into the equation.
And good goalkeeping.
Yep.
Just to sort of underline that little point, Adelaide have lost 5 of their last 6 road trips. And in that sequence, they conceded 17 goals. Might concede another one here. Naboots. Izzo drives him wide, still alive. Toivonen waits. Naboot can't find him. Another chance. Goes begging for the victory.
Well, you won't get many better. Big ricochets, one-on-one with the keeper, middle of the goal. And he elects to take on the keeper and gets it all wrong. Credit to Izzo, stood big, made him make the decision, but again, should have scored. And that's the problem for Victory. They're creating a lot of very good chances, and if you don't take them, you know, Adelaide are capable at the other end to go and get another one.
Yeah, it's a bit like Groundhog Day for Victory at the moment. All they can do is keep knocking at the door and hope that their luck changes. And in fairness, Robbie, 5 minutes to go before the break. If you're Carlos Salvatore, you've got to really applaud his team's efforts and the fact that they've created so much.
Yeah, because we're not sitting here saying, well, they've got to do better in the final third. Well, in some ways we do say that, but it's not the final pass, it's the finish. That's what's been missing.
It's all about goals, though. There's their last 6 winless since January against the Jets. Here's this chance that fell the way of Andrew Naboots.
Well, he didn't play at the ball, so he's onside, and he elects to go and gets it wrong. That sort of situation, you just need one touch to take it past the keeper, and the next touch, normally you're going into an empty net. He took 2, which took him away.
Do we also give Paul Izzo a bit of credit?
Oh, I did, and I already did.
Yep.
He made Naboot make the decision. Didn't go to ground.
Good spin by Rojas. Couldn't quite find the gap. Clipped the heel of Morone. Delafoco there ahead of Opseth, but then the Norwegian releases Milousnic. That could be in here. Lawrence Thomas out to try and gather it. Ahead of Riley McGree.
He's done. That's a good decision. Yeah, great decision from Thomas this time. But if that ball is just has a little bit more quality on it from Milousnic, McGree's one-on-one.
You just pointed that out some moments ago, Robbie, that Adelaide are capable of pinching a second on the counter, and that was a really good example of that. Good stretch that by Elsie. The boots throw. Finds Kamsoba in a bit of space. It's Elvis Kamsoba. And Izzo again. Traore's header. Toivonen. Oh, my word. How on earth did he miss that?
Well, I'll tell you how he misses it. And I know why he misses it. It's because he was having a go at Kamsoba, who shoots. Let's have a look. Great play from Kamsoba. And he should cut this one back, although was it cut off by Moroney. And he was remonstrating with Kamsoba. He turns around, and then he's faced with the ball has just arrived, and he misses it.
Well, surely that's the most gilt-edged of those opportunities. Look at that shot count. Heavily dominated by the navy blue, but they just cannot find a way past Paul Izzo. Floated forward by Troisi at the other end, chested down by McGree, who tried to control and shoot all in one movement. Couldn't quite pull that off. They'll try again. It's asking a lot of Traore, particularly with
it's testing
tight
out his
hamstring.
There's no doubt about that. And he seems to have got over that problem. I thought he was done, but still out there. Half-time will be a test for him. No, you're right, though. Izzo. Another good save on Kamsoba at the near post.
Well, the Reds perhaps just trying to clear their heads and get through to half-time. They've been under the pump for most of this opening half. Paul Izzo's been in excellent form between the posts. One really good stop to deny Marco Rojas, who's on the ball briefly again here. Up towards Opseth, won though aerially by Donachie. Swept out wide by Basher for Andrew Naboot. Away on this planet is Elvis Kamsoba getting to that one. They've got to keep believing in themselves, Robbie, because this is so important, this second half coming up for victory. Their season probably on the line. Not mathematically, of course, but
in
I think realistically.
Well, already with the position they're in. And at 1-0, of course, that's worse. But even if they were to win here, it's still a tough, long road.
Here's Troisi looking to bend it. Oh, and that was an important touch by Thomas. Blackwood still got a piece of it at that back post. The fingertips of Lawrence Thomas made it that much more difficult for him. Very open first half it's been. So many opportunities. Here's Naboot trying to set himself. It's going to be a corner. And there should be enough time for victory to take it. Victory fans behind the goal, trying to lift their side. Boy, they need it at the moment. Equalizer will give them a huge boost going into half-time. And on balance, it's probably the least they deserve. Let's see if they can get it. The boots. Hoogland trying to flick it on. It was Jakobsen at the near post. Miluznic couldn't get a piece of it, or at least not enough of it. And Rojas's effort is the final shot of a first half that's been littered with them so far as victory are concerned. But they found Paul Izzo in magnificent form between the sticks for Adelaide United. Some poor finishing as well, notably from Ola Toivonen, but his fellow Scandinavian Christian Opseth showed them how to do it. He got the only goal after 7 minutes, fed by Riley McGree. They've had to do a lot of defending since then, the Reds, and so far they've kept victory out. Interesting second half coming up. Victory season on the line, but at the break they trail Adelaide by a goal to nil. Let's join Archie Thompson.
Simon, Riley McGree had to defend a lot there towards the end of that first half.
Yeah, definitely. I also think we created our chances in attack, but yeah, we need to be tighter in defence and let them get less chances.
And yourself, if you're not scoring, you're setting up goal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing all I can for the team. Hopefully I can get on the score sheet and we can create many more chances and score a few more.
Okay, best of luck for the second half, mate. Marco, mate, not the start you wanted, but you must be pleased with the way your team came into that towards the end of that first half.
Yeah, the intensity was definitely better than the last game. We should have put a whole lot of chances away too, so there's a lot of positives.
And unfamiliar role, that number 10 position, how are you finding it?
I mean, I learned from the best, so
Exactly.
it's been going okay.
Okay, mate, best of luck for the second half.
Welcome back to Marvel Stadium, where Melbourne Victory have 45 minutes realistically, perhaps to save their season. They trail Adelaide by a goal to nil after 45 minutes. Couple of changes to tell you about. Brandon Loughton is on for Adama Traore. We thought that might be the case as we get the second half underway. And Mirko Boland has replaced Michael Moroney. Looks like Luis Dorigo is going to right back for the Reds. Carlos Salvatore, the Melbourne Victory coach, has been good enough to give us a moment or two of his time to tell us his thoughts. Thank you, Carlos. Your assessment of that first half? I mean, you did really everything but score.
We need to score, we create enough chances, and now we have to do the same. Let's keep going, and we cannot change a lot of things because the first half was okay. We conceded the goal in the first half of then, and we have enough chances to score minimum 2 goals.
If you don't win today, Carlos, can you realistically make the finals?
We will see after the game, but now we have 45 minutes and we have to be optimists.
Yes. Okay, and just a quick update on the situation with Adama Traore.
He has problems and it's better now start with Lorton.
Thank you very much. Gracias, Carlos.
Thank you, gracias.
That is Carlos Salvatore, who is hoping, Robbie Slater, that his team can turn this around, and they certainly gave him absolutely everything in that first half, bar the important goal.
Yeah, the finish. And he's got to be optimistic.
Look at the gaps here. Goodness me, there's about 20 metres. It's not a particularly good cross either by Luis Dorigo. Strange little passage of football. Does he do anything different in this second half, Salvatore, to try and turn things around, or did he just say more of the same?
Well, it's more of the same. Like I said, there was only one thing missing, and that was the final touch into the back of the net.
Well, given away by Camso, that could be costly. Thomas happy to see that one flash past the left-hand upright off the boot of Milojusnic.
Yeah, mistake from Cam Sober, and he took it instantly, didn't he? Just shifted the ball there. Doesn't get bend on it. Doesn't really worry Lawrence Thomas.
Milojusnic without a goal in his last 4 matches. Taken away off the head of Rojas by Dorigo, adjudged as a high foot. Here's Basha holding off the attentions of Troisi. Here's Camsober in his more natural attacking position. Hoogland, who's joined in whenever he's had the opportunity to do so. Awkward one for Boland to deal with, fresh off the bench as well, did well. Good touch though by Opseth, and Adelaide will look to spring the counter. It's the pacey Milojusnic being pursued by James Donaghy. Little dink into the box for Opseth. McGree having to check the run and go back to fetch the ball. Michael Maria. Opseth did really well to hold off his man and release it for McGree. Desperation stuff for Victory. Hoogland scoops it away. And now Camsober's got the better of Maria. Can he create something at the other end?
He's been very good tonight, Cam Sober. Credit to him for his positive play. He's made a couple of chances.
Basher finding Toivonen. Broxham. He's falling for the contact of Riley McGree, who feels that the ref's perhaps been a bit duped by that, but whistle's gone nonetheless. Massive contact, but enough. This one's perhaps a little bit too far out, even for Mulla Toivonen. Andrew de Boot is going to be on free kick duty. Got a frustrated figure in the first half, then he got himself booked. Foco couldn't reach that one. Retrieved though by Donachie. Victory desperately looking for the spark. Floated in by Loughton. Drops for Rojas. Adelaide standing firm. Broxham. Too heavy, too pacey for Elvis Campsover. He's the only survivor of either team to have played in that first grand final between the two. Here back in 06-07, Lee Broxham came off the bench that day. Day dominated by a certain A. Thompson. We'll get his thoughts in a moment or two. Loughton wants an option. Toivonen provides. Dug out there by Blackwood. Floated forward by Jakobsen. Misjudged though by Boland. Tied it up by Hoogland. Flipped forward by Thomas. Nice window by Maria. Troisi. He was then collected, and Chris Beath is going to bring them back, and Lee Broxham is going to go into the book. There's not much love between former teammates. A bit to say in the aftermath here, Robbie. Did Lee Broxham?
Well, he certainly catches him late. Just toe pokes this one through, and he's cleaned up. It's an easy decision for Chris Beath.
Back in disciplinary trouble, Lee Broxham. His last appearance was against Sydney in the Big Blue. Got himself sent off in that game late on. Tangle with it, Alexander Bohm-Johan. Of course, has latterly been kept out of the team by a calf injury. Victory trying to retain their focus. They concede a second here, it could be fatal. High defensive line, Miliusnic's ball towards Opseth, and there was a clash there of heads between Broxham and Opseth. Hence the whistle. That's a bell ringer for Lee Broxham.
Jakobsen gets there. Thomas thought about it. He started to come and he backpedaled. Jakobsen unmarked.
Offside.
Yeah.
Jakobsen. Great header for Broxham.
It's got a funny feel to it, this second half. The opening of it is it's kind of flat, very tense. Victory haven't found that rhythm they had in the first half as yet. Adelaide pretty happy to not sit deep, but they're certainly into their own half and then launch from there.
Which Poland is trying to do here. Finds the pocket for Riley McGree. Outside him is Michael Maria. Trying to find a passing lane that was open. Couldn't really do so. Now Blackwood has lost out. The boots. He's back in the right fullback position. Again, it's rather sloppy from Victory.
It was sloppy from both. At attack was promising, and Michael Maria hesitated in the boot. Well, he's isolated here.
Body's getting up around him now. Basha. Kamsoba can have a go here. Charged down bravely so by Jordan Elsey, and effectively too. Victory in a real hole here. As mentioned in the first half, haven't missed the final since 2011-12, that disastrous year. Mehmet Durakovic took over as head coach and was then sacked mid-season. Jim Magilton took over and couldn't restore the club's fortunes, and it's got a bit of a similar feel to it, hasn't it, this campaign for Victory? Although their first half, in fairness, as we've mentioned already, was very good, minus the goals.
Yeah, but how many times do we say teams are very good? And I remember Wellington at the start of the season, 4 games lost on the trot, and they were playing very good in patches. But until you start winning, you start scoring goals, that's where you're judged. And Victory haven't been doing it enough. And for all their good work in the first half, they come up with no goals. You know, when you sign top-class players, you expect delivery. You expect that quality, to perform. And that's the harsh reality of being at a club like Melbourne Victory.
It's a good steal by Michael Jakobsen. Drive forward. From half the pitch here. Slips it through for George Blackwood. Off the crossbar. Still alive, but it's a handball. Because
there was another chance brewing for Miliusnic. George Blackwood, a young Loughton there, gave him too much room. And he smashed that one, gave it some real violence.
Kamsoba tripped himself. So many step-overs. Still got the ball, though.
Oh, that would have been a quite incredible goal after slipping over. And he's not a long way away from it. He goes for power there, maybe with a bit of placement and power. Just take a little bit off it. Here goes the step over, and he'll slip over, but he's still so quick on his feet.
Luis Dorigo there just took his eye off the ball for a moment. I don't know if you noticed that, which allowed Kamsoba the opportunity to recover. In the meantime, at the other end, Robbie, you could say the width of the crossbar has kept Victory's season alive, but for how long? Miliusnic can't get there ahead of Thomas. There's an interesting stat, by the way, regards to Adelaide United. Give me that in a moment. Just watching the boot on the right. Rojas says, "Give it to me."
Oh, what a
good sliding block by Jakobsen.
What an interception. And a great burst from the boot. Nearly finding Rojas. He burns off Michael Maria. Look at that. Rojas has maybe a tap in. Jakobsen sliding and intercepting that dangerous cross.
Could be a chance brewing here for Rojas! Victory all square! And Marco Rojas marks his 100th A-League appearance with the first goal of his 3rd stint with Melbourne Victory. And how important could this one be?
And that's what you want your top stars to do, to perform. Very static Adelaide there. They've defended so well, but it's all about his first touch, Rojas. His first touch sets it up for the side foot finish. Look at it. Takes it straight out in front of him, and he just slides it into the bottom right-hand corner.
Well, boy, they needed that goal. They've made their second change as well. As we were watching the replay, Lee Broxham just back into the team after injury, and of course on a yellow card. So he's replaced by the young midfielder Anthony Lesiotis. So Victory have a bit of confidence
and just
about them once again. Can they build on that?
Verbeek, when that went in, I could see him shaking his head, looking at the ground, kick the ground, because, you know, like you said, George Blackwood, width of a crossbar, and they would have been 2 up. A minute later, down the other end, and Rojas delivers.
Football changes on such moments. See if Adelaide can swing it back in their favour. Troisi in towards the near post. Boland couldn't help it on. Put forward by Rojas. Stat I was about to give you about Adelaide United prior to tonight's game: 27 points from 18 rounds, exactly the same as they had after 18 rounds in their title-winning season back in 15-16. Away is the cry for Dorigo, and he obliges.
That's a good ball from the boot. Kamsoba just a little bit on his heels. That's where he's got to try and get across his defender. Look there, he should be going. He should be gone. Once Naboot gets that ball, that's when he's got to go towards that near post to get across the front of that defender.
Just over half an hour to go at Marvel. Game beautifully balanced. And Victory at the latest corner. The boots to take. Donachie underneath it. The scraps will be picked up by Galafuoco. They'll get a throw off Milosnic. That was troubling, that header from Donachie.
Yep. You sense that the atmosphere in the stadium's changed as well. There's a bit of belief around where it was quite flat.
They're going to have to dig in again. Victory's need is the greater. Here's Rojas, who got away momentarily from Boland. Pretty sure that ball crossed the line. So no flag. The linesman on the far side is a long way away, in fairness, but look, from our vantage point, it was a corner.
Clearly a corner.
On that far side. Salvatore Senke. How was this not our corner? Of course, the whole of the ball has to cross the line.
That's how I'm going to have to go down there again.
We might just keep you down there permanently, Robbie. Here's Naboot. Victory building a case here. Away by Boland. Drops here for Toivonen. England's picked up a big whack there. Appeal for handball, pretty strong appeals too. And again, Chris Beath says nothing doing. Now he will blow the whistle, but to check on the injury to Andrew Naboot. And call for some attention, but was there a handball there inside the Adelaide penalty area? VAR will be having a look at it. Sure, it strikes the hand, does it?
No, it strikes the thigh.
Yeah. Oh dear. Andrew Naboot's going to have one heck of a shiner tomorrow. I think he's got one already, in fairness. It's like Rocky Balboa. What he used to say to his cornerman, cut me, cut me. Here's how it happened. Actually, this is the action that came afterwards, but nowhere near the arm.
Oh, that's nasty. You have to decide whether you can continue with that.
It's going to affect his vision as well. The boot wants to continue. All footballers do, but yeah, I'm with you, Robbie. That's a nasty one.
Had a very good last 10 minutes.
Let's go down to sorry, Robbie. Let's go down to Archie Thompson, get his view on the second half so far.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. Real relief when that goal went in from Melbourne Victory from the Victory bench. What a Victory need to do is really get the ball into Andrew Naboot and Elvis Kamsoba. They're having a lot of freedom outside in those wide areas, but also too with Marco Rojas. We need him on the ball. I shouldn't say we. They need him on the ball, and obviously to be making those late runs into the box.
You feel there's an opportunity there with Dorigo, a makeshift right fullback, and he's just been collected by Brandon Loughton, incidentally. Let's watch how this develops. Christian Opseth, was he being held? Chris Beats saw nothing untoward. And on we go. Loughton with the outside of the boot, gets the return off Toivonen. You can almost feel the tension, even from high up here in the commentary box at Marvel. Lesiotis. Victory's next 2 games, by the way, are Sydney FC at home and Wellington away. And on current form, I wouldn't exactly be confident they could go and get points at those places, which again makes this fixture all the more important, Robbie.
No question. You said it since the start of the game. It's a must 3 points for victory. Come back from an offside position, Andrew Naboot. And they've just lost the momentum a little bit here.
You've been attacking the cheese plate again. I can hear it in your voice.
Magnificent.
Which is not really what you can say for Andrew Naboot's eye at the moment. Here's Miliusnic. Hoogland misjudging that one. Short for Boland. Miliusnic again. Drop of the shoulder, trying to get away from Hoogland. McGree. Adelaide get a corner. Looking for their 5th straight win against Melbourne Victory. All the previous 4 have been at Cooper Stadium.
You know, we've talked, about Victory's need to win. But Adelaide have got their own problems as well in this game. They need to get better. Need more of Troisi, more from Riley McGree.
See what they can do this particular corner up towards Opseth. And he'll keep it alive here. And the Reds will get another go from the other side. And again, just to repeat, big chance for them to go joint second in terms of points, along with Perth, Melbourne City, who play tomorrow against Brisbane and Wellington. If Herchan Vivek's team can get the 3 points tonight. James Troisi taking his time. And then in towards that near post, punched well away by Thomas. It'll be picked up, though, in the deep by Miliusnic. Reset through Dorigo, now with Boland. Too high for Elsie. Victory struggling to clear their lines. Troisi. Nice skill by the central defender, Riley McGree, with the snapshot, but straight at Lawrence Thomas in the end.
Yeah, got a hold of it. He had to take it quickly. Not much time there. Jacobson did very well here.
Didn't
just get that across, chested down. It's a good move from Adelaide.
The Reds have got 2 home games on the back of this fixture against Western United and Newcastle Jets. Their place in the top 6, looking a lot more secure than Victory's. Herchan Vivek is going to go to his bench for the second time. We're going to see the introduction of Kusini Yengi shortly, who made his debut in Parramatta last week and looked pretty good off the bench. Seems to have a real production line of these young strikers. Mohamed Toure in reserve again this evening. As we mentioned last week, Robbie, this kid was probably the choice ahead of Al Hassan Toure at the start of the season. But, his debut long delayed by injury.
And like you said, they seem to have an assembly line of these talented players. Opseth comes off. He did get the opening goal, of course. It's been a little bit more difficult for him in the second half, but he's a big boy as well.
Got his goal tonight, just his second in Reds colours. Let's see what Kusini Yengi can do, the younger South Australian of South Sudanese heritage. Another one from the African diaspora. There's a whole host of those players coming through the ranks, not just at Adelaide United. Victory, of course, had Thomas Deng, who's now gone off to play in Japan. Born in a similar part of the world. They've got numbers here, the Reds. Troisi. And chested down by Blackwood. He's hit the crossbar for the second time in the game. He cannot believe his misfortune.
And he's hit it nearly in exactly the same spot. And he did everything right. He just pulls off to the back post, cushions it down, and maybe just doesn't allow that ball to come down enough to take it, probably because Thomas was coming on him, but he's desperately unlucky twice now.
Well, what do I have to do? He's probably thinking.
Like I said, Adelaide enjoying a good period here. Dominating the last 5 or 6 minutes. And creating.
Just a bit flat at the moment. See if Galafoko can spark them to life. Rojas not going to get there ahead of Dorigo. Baker's just thrown his hands up in the air again at that clearance from Paul Izzo. Spoke to James Troisi before the game, Robbie, and said he had a tough week at training after that 5-2 loss, and he said, oh, yeah. You can believe that he's right. And that little piece of invention by Toivonen. Off all his skills. Hoogland's throw. In the air by Jakobsen. Good touch by Yengi. And McGree will drive forward, and he's got clear of Hoogland, and the Reds could be in here. Blackwood wants it, and that was the intention, but it's overhit by McGree. Really, with the victory goal gaping.
Yeah, great situation. You fancy if he... Well, he's looking for Blackwood. It's just the execution of the pass that was wrong, overhit it. But a great situation to go 2-1 up there for Adelaide. Lightning, wasn't he? Riley McGree down that left-hand side.
That's why he's excited as all when he burst onto the scene with the Reds a few years ago. Still young enough to become a regular Socceroo, you'd fancy. Here's Kamsoba, good drop of the shoulder, but can't find the cross to match. But he's been good tonight.
Well, I thought he was much more effective on the right-hand side in the first half. Mind you, the last, it's getting up to 10 minutes now. They've seen little of the ball in an attacking sense victory. It's been Adelaide who have controlled the tempo of the game.
Victory shot their bolt. Here's Blackwood, the luckiest man on the pitch. Miljuznic looking to give him the ball back. Off the head of Dorigo. Yengi challenging for it. Drops for McGree. Troisi. Miljuznic. Is he brought down inside the D? Crispin says yes.
Well, it's a good outcome for Adelaide because they just lacked width in that attack. There was no one out to the left, and that's the way he was facing Miljuznic. So the best outcome was a free kick. See, he looked out to the left and there was no one there. That's why he comes back inside, and there's the foul committed. Sweeps his legs from underneath him.
Yeah, the trailing leg of James Donachie. That ball's going to have to go back a fair bit further. Could this be the key moment? James Troisi, you fancy, is lining this one up against his former club. didn't suit the left footer. Misty Shiner. Big egg on the left eye of Andrew in the boots. It's going to be James Troisi, and it's pushed away by Thomas. Lined up the wall correctly and got the angles exactly right. Here come the Reds again. Maria towards Blackwoods. Nodded away by Galafuoco. Sober just not tall enough to reach that ball, and he then handled it. If he was 6'2", you fancied he'd have got that. Here's the previous free kick, Robbie.
Yeah, and that's the side he's protecting, so he doesn't get fooled by Troisi. And there's Cam Sober, you're right. The bounce was just too high for him.
Here's Troisi, another free kick, and that'll be Thomas's. And you heard the little ripple of excitement from the Reds fans beneath us. That's because Mohamed Toure has been summoned. He's going to be with us next break. Before that, it's Nabbout. Andrew Nabbout pushed away at the other end by Paul Izzo.
Well, can that reignite them? Because they've been a little bit lost in that 10 minutes now. Nabbout, he has to take the strike on here because Rojas was unmarked in the middle, but there's no way he was going to be able to find him. This is a great contest. Physical strength first, and you see that cross is blocked off to Rojas. Yes, he would have had to tap in, but there's no way he could have crossed that because Jakobsen was blocking it, so he had to take the shot on.
And Izzo was going to be very difficult to beat at that near post from that angle. We're into the last quarter of an hour. Nabbout, who won the corner, takes it. Here it comes for Toivonen.
On target. Too many bodies. Haven't seen much Toivonen in this second half. Corner not cleared properly.
Back to the corner quadrant we will go.
Wonder if he puts this one a little bit further. Everything has gone near post and corners for victory.
Donachie waiting to attack it. Here is James Donachie, but beaten in the air by Kusini Yengi doing his job defensively. Reset through Lesiotis. And Basha tried the nutmeg, but Miliusnic wasn't fooled. With the diagonal, finds Toivonen, and he's got a bit of room here on the Toivonen. Around Boland, and it cannons back off Elsie, and again they appeal for handball. And again Chris Speed says nope. And attention switches to the other end where Miliusnic and Yengi almost get in each other's way. And set up here for James Troisi, who slaloms past two, and Riley McGree.
Terrific block. How often have we seen McGree just pull off at the last minute and finish a move like that? And it's look, they know exactly where they're going to be. Troisi jinking through a couple of defenders. No, you're never going to get that.
Bounces off the arm of Elsie onto the arm of Jakobsen.
But both in the, tucked into the body.
Sums up the strange nature in many ways of this game. Blackwood hitting the crossbar twice at the same end is
two handballs and no penalty.
Yeah. Driven in by Boland towards the near post, and as Blackwood arriving, he's just thinking it's not going to be his night. Well, it's going to be Nikola Miliusnic to be withdrawn, and we're going to see the introduction of you-know-who. It's Super Mo. A 15-year-old who's had everybody talking in the last few weeks. There is some talk, maybe a little bit prematurely, Robbie, that Premier League scouts are already looking at him and Al Hassan Touré's brother. You'd hope not at 15.
I think that'd be more rumours than actual fact. But you never know. I don't think age would put off Premier League clubs, let's put it that way.
No, I just mean that it would be nice to see him develop a bit more in the A-League, really, before going overseas.
Well, develop it a bit more.
Yeah, start to develop. Here's Rojas. Maybe a sign of the fact that Victory haven't quite been able to press towards that end of the pitch, is that the Seagulls went and nested there for a moment or two before taking their lead. Elsie deals with that one. Just a shade over 10 minutes to go. There they go. This beautiful night in Melbourne. Adelaide United set for their first draw of the season. Victory might have something to say about that yet. Here's Lau. Leaves it for Lesiotis. Kamsoba. Way into the room, but couldn't find the execution. Yengi just outnumbered and not fouled. Chris Beething, close attendance. Hoogland trying to pick his way through traffic. Kamsoba. It's a bit narrow for Victory, so Kamsoba will turn back out. And then he's outmuscled by Troisi. He can't quite get out. Now the whistle does go. Blackwood the meat in the sandwich. The first challenge that the Reds were unhappy about.
Oh, there was a few, wasn't it? They were flying in there. Victory season on the line. They need commitment. They need energy. Adelaide composed away from home. I feel after that storm where Victory equalised, I think they've handled this match pretty well.
Here's Yengi. Point, not necessarily a bad result for the Reds on the road. Might still get better for them. Maria, Yengi. Hanging around nicely here. Troisi, and Blackwood just couldn't get front position. And credit to Loughton, who put his body on the line.
In that one, twice he's hit the crossbar and he's taken the back position. And I feel if he would have done the same there, that ball would have arrived to him. Of course, he can't win, because if the ball went in flat, you'd be saying he's got to try and get across his defender. So, but twice, the two times he's hit the bar, he's taken the outside position.
That's too casual from Loughton. Here's Mohamed Toure. His strength and speed will get in there, fires it in with pace across the face of the goal. And Troisi has barged Rojas out of the way and concedes the free kick.
But let me just say, I mean, it didn't end up a chance, a scoring chance, but what about this? Talk about powerful. Speed off the mark there.
The courage to play to his strengths.
Oh, and the confidence there, and that's playing to his strength. He's quick. Sometimes you don't need a trick. You just knock the ball past, and you got that kind of pace. You just burn people.
I was about to say, by his father, Amara.
His father's a very good coach, obviously. And it's a terrific story for the family. That's developing.
And for football in Australia.
Yep.
Here's Kamsoba. No way forward for Rojas. Good defensive block by Roland, and then holding on Troisi.
Yeah, Victory, Adelaide are doing it well. Victory just can't find any rhythm, and that's because of Adelaide, their qualities of holding the ball and frustrating Melbourne Victory.
I think James Troisi had a bit to say to the Victory bench there as well, telling them to sit down and stop complaining.
And that was another foul.
Yeah, he's having a bit of a crack at his old teammates, his old coaching staff. Maybe feels he's got a bit of a point to prove tonight.
Yeah, this suits Adelaide.
That battle is going on verbally with Lee Broxham in particular.
Well, they obviously don't like each other. It happens in football clubs. But Victory got to stop making those fouls, because all it's making the game is stop-start.
Here's Toivonen. The run just didn't arrive. It's back to that frustrating, rather laborious victory, tentative victory that has led them to their current position, and time is ticking away. Maybe on their finals aspirations. It won't be mathematically decided tonight. A draw here would leave them with 18 points from 19 matches. Still 8 behind Brisbane in 6th. Brisbane in action across town against Melbourne City tomorrow.
Well, it's quite simple. The maths is quite simple. Once you start having less points than games played.
Hang on, Rojas' cross. Good defensive header by Jakobsen, but not matched by his teammates, and scooped over the top by Tim Hoogland, who's willing to lend a hand if he can.
And so once, as I was saying, once you have less points than matches played, and that's wooden spoon territory. I'm sorry. In England, it was relegation territory.
Most places around the world. Quite in wooden spoon territory at the moment. That unwanted honour belongs to the Mariners at present. This point would take them back above Newcastle on goal difference to 9th. They want better. Here's Rojas. Driving it into the back of the shins of Jordan Elsey. So that's a physical impossibility, isn't it? The back of the shins. That means calves or ankles. As you once said, Robbie, I think it was during the Asian Cup. So many games, so many words to find.
Exactly.
Victory find a goal. Can Adelaide break their hearts late on? They've come closest with George Blackwood striking the crossbar twice. Desperation shown by Hoogland, but he's not come away with the ball. Salvatore is going to go to his bench to play his final card. Kenny Athew is going to be thrown on for the last few minutes. A little bit of something different for Victory as they seek this oh so important winner. Meantime, floated forward by Troisi, and that's an important touch off Galafuoco, just to prevent it getting through to Blackwood behind him. A flatness about the crowd as well, almost as though they're almost resigned to their fate.
Well, they're not seeing the spark in the team. Now, you remember, it's not that long ago, if ever, whether it be here or at Amy, when Victory were down, they'd be pushing and pushing and pushing. And they're not down here, of course they're drawing with Adelaide, but a point's as good as a loss for Victory at the moment. Be a good point on the road for Adelaide.
Well, if Kenny Athew were able to grab a late winner, he really would become King Kenny in these parts, wouldn't he? He's got just over 2 minutes plus stoppages to do so. In good field position here. Blackwood fires it across. Knocked away by Naboots. Cushion header by Rojas. Hughes' first involvement. Loughton Gets clear of Blackwood. Pressure applied by Boland. And again, it's come to naught for victory. 2 games to come tomorrow, of course. Western United against Central Coast Mariners. Important won that for Mark Ruden's team. They've dropped off the pace in recent weeks. And Melbourne City against Brisbane Roar. They've provided some goals this season. Is there a late one here for Mohamed Toure? He got it on target.
It's a good save. Good save with his foot from Lawrence Thomas. And the pace of Toure through the middle. And the perfect pass.
Onside too.
Onside. Look at that pace. First touch maybe just stuck between his feet, made him have to take another touch there. But that's a good save from Lawrence Thomas.
Boland's corner, all along the floor. Tracy waiting to pull the trigger. Reset through Maria. Boland, McGree looking for Yengi at the back post. He did get a little bit of contact there from Hoogland. And there was a question or two asked there by the Reds players.
It was a good ball from McGree. Hung it up to the back post.
Let's move into stoppage time. There's only 3 minutes to be added. Now or never for victory. Andrew Naboot! Oh, my word! Cometh the hour, cometh the man. That is an extraordinary hit. Maybe to win the points for victory, maybe to keep their season alive. Unbelievable.
Well, that's a showstopper. Absolute brilliant strike, Naboot. One of the goals of the season at the most desperate time for Melbourne Victory to keep their season alive. I feel it's that important. And he collects this ball. Interestingly, he's moved over to the left where he was in the first half. Comes inside. And what a fantastic strike that is. Absolutely unstoppable. From the defensive point of view, you shouldn't let him come in there. Boland can't let him come on his right foot. That's the danger area. You've got to send him towards the touchline, the byline. But wow, take nothing away from that. And what a moment into injury time. He's forgotten about his eye now.
The man with the shiner shines in stoppage time. A tracer bullet into the top corner. And Adelaide can scarcely believe this. They just don't do draws, do they? They have hit the crossbar twice in the second half. And yet they're staring down the barrel here of defeat.
And they were controlling the game. But, and that's what I said before, 2 of the players of quality who you expect to produce, they're paid to produce, have produced. Because it's not been a fantastic second half from them. But Rojas and Naboot have provided what they need to. Offside, not even close.
And sometimes, so far as victory are concerned, it's not about how you win, it's just about that you win.
Well, at this point, it's about winning. It's not about performance, of course. You can get the performance and the win, albeit, but at the moment they need points.
And Kenny Few is almost playing as a right fullback. They don't care about the performance at the moment.
And I tell you
They're
what,
very happy that Andrew Naboot has come up with a goal like that.
And the crowd have responded as well. They don't care. But what a goal. A goal good enough to win any game.
They haven't won in the A-League since thrashing the Newcastle Jets 4-0 back in early January. But they're on the brink here. However unlikely it seemed at various points of the second half, and that might just see them through. The foul on Toivonen.
And the one thing to say for Andrew Naboot, for another pat on the back for him, some players might have gone off with that. And I'm not, this is not him to go at other players, but he showed mental strength. They gave him a way out. The medical staff would have been quite happy for him to come off, and he was determined to stay on. can hardly see out of that left eye.
Yeah. We liken him to a boxer, but he's certainly landed the killer punch. What a hit that was. Carlos Salvatore wants to know how much more time's going to be added on. They've got Big Blue next up at home to Sydney FC. They will go into that fixture as winners, and look at what that means. Andrew Naboot with the injury time winner, an absolute showstopper. As Victory get a much needed win. Carlos Salvatore's first as interim coach, and their first in the A-League since the 5th of January. The finals might still be a long shot, but they've given themselves a chance. They rode their luck in the second half. Adelaide hit the crossbar twice through George Blackwood, but in the end, somehow, and they won't quite understand how, they end up as losers. The cup holders. League form continues to be nothing short of erratic. Christian Opseth had given them that early lead. Marco Rojas got the equalizer, and then Andrew Naboot with the late show to leave Herchamber Bank rather crestfallen. And Adelaide defeated. Victory, though, victorious once again. Their first in Adelaide over Adelaide in 5 meetings by 2-1. Let's join Archie Thompson for some reaction. Archie.
Thanks, Simon. Here with Ola. Mate, this is probably the first interview I've done with you when you're smiling. Can you sum that match up, mate?
Yeah, smiling finally, huh? I mean, look, 1-0 in half-time for Adelaide, and we created a lot of chances in the first half, and it's tough. It's tough to go in half-time with a 1-0 down, but, I mean, we just keep going, and I think we win. We win finally, and we have some luck on our side. Maybe they hit the ball 2 times, but yeah, you get what you deserve. Huh?
Is that the luck that's kind of deserted you this year? Do you feel like it's starting to turn around in the right time of the season? I know there's a long way to still go, but do you feel that this could be the little push that you need?
Yeah, I mean, we knew before this game there was a win or die game, and we're still in it. We doesn't have Champions League in a while, so we can just focus on the A-League. And I mean, that's just what we need. We need the fans as well. It's been a tough year, and they deserve this win as well. And he's been fighting as well. Hasn't got the goal lately, and it's beautiful. He got the goal today, so yeah, we're happy.
Yeah, he looks like he's fighting. He's got that big melon on his head.
Yeah, it looks better. You know?
Okay, best of luck. Well done, mate. Christian, mate, you got your goal, but must be really disappointed the way that ended.
Yeah, of course. It's nice to score a goal, but it doesn't mean anything now. And trying to push for a second goal in the second half, and then counter on us and let him go inside, and it's a good finish. So we're disappointed right now.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like they didn't really have many opportunities. You hit the crossbar twice. I mean, obviously disappointed, but you still must take some confidence out of this game.
It's hard right now. It's just disappointment, really. But of course, we have to look at the positive as well when we can put a disappointment behind us and look forward and work harder.
Okay, Christian. That's up.